Welcome to HD News Travel Documentary. The United States, land of freedom or humanity's nightmare? In the richest country in the world, thousands of homeless people are living among trash, rusted metal, and the overwhelming smell of sewage. They are trapped in a hell no one wants to see. Subscribe to hdneww, the only documentary brave enough to speak the truths other media won't report. Comment 1 to let us know you want us to reveal the data from the 5 largest cities in the US. The truth will be exposed in today's travel documentary. We will take you inside the most dangerous and shocking homeless camps in America. Number 1. Homelessness crisis in Philadelphia. As of early 2025, Kensington, a representative neighborhood of Philadelphia, has seen a population boom, with nearly a 10% increase in just 1 year. This surge is largely driven by inner-city migration and a wave of low-income workers from nearby areas. Alongside rapid urbanization, a sharp rise in immigration and resettlement has pushed Kensington's population density to over 22,000 people per square kilometer, 40% higher than the city average. However, this growth has come with serious consequences: a housing crisis, overwhelmed social services, and a cost of living inflation in Philadelphia that has risen over 25% compared to 2024. As a result, thousands have been forced to live in makeshift camps in slum-like conditions. This explosive growth has turned Kensington into a flashpoint, starkly exposing the suffocating contrast between urban development and a deepening humanitarian crisis. In the current context, Kensington, Philadelphia, is sounding the alarm on a full-scale urban crisis, where root causes such as the housing shortage, unemployment, cuts to public services, and pollution, the silent enemy, are all erupting simultaneously. By early 2025, more than 18,000 housing assistance applications had been denied, while the unemployment rate among low-income groups has exceeded 11%, nearly double the citywide average. At the same time, the budget for social welfare services has been slashed by 17%, leaving healthcare and emergency support systems paralyzed. Environmental pollution, especially uncollected waste, has led to a more than 40% increase in respiratory and infectious diseases among the homeless compared to residents with stable housing. Over 60% of the homeless population in Kensington currently have no access to basic medical services, while local health centers are down to just 1 doctor for every 2,200 people, twice the maximum recommended ratio. In education, around 1,700 children are living in tent camps, with over 40% either chronically absent or having dropped out entirely. In a community overwhelmed by urbanization, education and healthcare, the 2 fundamental pillars, are under severe strain, reflecting a system spiraling out of control, where people are being pushed to the margins of society unless bold and comprehensive intervention takes place. In Kensington, harm reduction programs such as safe injection sites, addiction recovery support, and community art workshops have become a lifeline for many. People who once lived in addiction and despair are now volunteering, helping others escape the same cycle of hopelessness. These initiatives go beyond temporary relief. They aim for long-term reintegration through community recovery centers, free vocational training classes, and neighborhood revitalization art projects. Please take a moment to like, comment, and subscribe to our channel. Your support helps us continue sharing these powerful stories and shedding light on the most pressing issues. Let's come together to help heal these broken souls and bring them closer to hope and each other. Number 2. Homelessness crisis in New York City. The homelessness crisis in New York City is one of the clearest examples of the growing inequality at the heart of a glamorous megacity. Known as the city that never sleeps, New York is home to over 140,000 homeless individuals, including tens of thousands of children living in shelters or on the streets, the highest number in the nation. The average rent in Manhattan has surpassed $5,500 per month, while the incomes of many working-class families lag far behind the rising cost of living. As a result, countless people have been forced out of their homes and into life on the streets. The clash between wealth and poverty in New York City, especially in the bustling borough of Manhattan, has created a deeply conflicted and complex social landscape. While towering skyscrapers bathed in lights symbolize prosperity, just below them, more than 60,000 homeless individuals struggle to survive each day. The average income of the top 10% of earners is 35 times higher than that of the bottom 10%, a stark reflection of the widening urban inequality. The city's crowded streets, filled with tourists and busy locals, are also lined with tents and sleeping bags, a striking contrast that makes Manhattan an essential chapter in any documentary about modern society. In Brooklyn, once celebrated as a symbol of creativity and multicultural community, the homelessness crisis is also accelerating. Rent prices there have risen by more than 30% over the past 3 years, leaving over 14,000 people unable to afford stable housing. Unchecked urbanization is gradually displacing longtime residents from their own neighborhoods, turning Brooklyn into one of New York's key hotspots in the housing crisis. In response to this growing crisis, New York City's government has implemented a range of measures to address the worsening homelessness situation. One of the key policies is the Housing First program, which prioritizes providing stable housing before addressing mental health or employment issues. Additionally, the city is repurposing vacant buildings into temporary shelters and expanding community support centers that offer medical services, psychological counseling, and job training. Notably, many affordable housing units are being constructed or renovated in Brooklyn and the Bronx to meet the rising demand for low-cost housing. At the same time, nonprofit organizations, churches, and civil groups continue to play a vital role by providing food, clothing, and legal counseling to the homeless, helping to rebuild a compassionate and sustainable community support network. Number 3. Skid Row, Los Angeles. Skid Row, the infamous slum in Los Angeles, is perhaps one of the most striking and notorious examples of urban poverty and homelessness in America. Covering just about 0.4 square miles, it is home to over 4,400 homeless individuals, nearly 15% of the entire homeless population in Los Angeles. The area suffers from crumbling infrastructure, poor sanitation, and limited access to healthcare, while over 1/3 of its residents show signs of, or have a history of, mental illness. Despite being largely neglected by society, the community here maintains strong bonds, standing together in the fight to reclaim dignity and survival. Skid Row is not only a symbol of the failures of the social safety net and the shortage of affordable housing, but also a powerful testament to the resilience of the human spirit in the face of extreme adversity. Venice Beach, a popular tourist destination in Los Angeles, is also witnessing a growing homeless population. It's estimated that over 2,000 homeless individuals live along the shoreline, making up around 5% of the area's total population. Amid the vibrant murals and lively street performances, there are scenes of makeshift tents, blankets, and piled-up belongings, a striking blend of artistic freedom and persistent poverty. While entertainment and tourism continue to thrive, they exist alongside a harsh reality where housing, mental health, and social welfare are often overlooked. Meanwhile, Fremont Street in Las Vegas, known for its dazzling neon lights and rich history, reveals another layer of society, one where over 6,500 homeless individuals reside across the city, with many concentrated around the Fremont area. Behind the glitz of casinos lies a very different Las Vegas, where economic instability, high unemployment rates, and a transient population have pushed many into a precarious existence. Around 70% of the homeless here lack access to official shelters, and local support services remain insufficient. The stark contrast between the prosperity of the entertainment industry and the tragic reality of poverty paints a deeply human story, one that's ideal for any documentary seeking to explore the depths of modern urban injustice. Number 4. Homelessness crisis in Boston. The homelessness crisis in Boston is becoming increasingly severe, especially under the harsh impact of winter, where temperatures can drop below -10 degrees Celsius, posing a direct threat to the lives of thousands of unsheltered individuals. As of 2025, Boston is home to over 7,800 homeless people, with around 1,500 sleeping outdoors each night despite the dangerous weather conditions. In response to this challenge, the city has implemented several compassionate and sustainable strategies, most notably the multi-purpose neighborhood hub model, spaces where individuals can access temporary shelter, mental health support, medical care, job training, and employment assistance all in one place. In addition, crisis prevention programs have been launched to provide financial assistance to those at risk of losing their homes, combined with tenant education on financial management skills and legal rights. To ease the burden on the already overwhelmed downtown area, the city is actively developing affordable housing in suburban neighborhoods, helping to reduce population density and offer more stable living conditions. Public-private partnerships also play a crucial role by investing heavily in social housing infrastructure and community service centers, gradually addressing the homelessness issue by placing people at the heart of urban policy. Number 5. Washington, D.C. The homelessness crisis in Washington, D.C. highlights a striking paradox. While the city stands as the political power center of the United States, just steps away from its iconic government buildings are more than 8,000 homeless individuals, including nearly 700 veterans and thousands of youth and low-income workers struggling to survive on sidewalks or in temporary shelters. The gap between rich and poor has become increasingly pronounced, with average rent in D.C. now exceeding $2,800 per month, while the minimum wage for many residents falls far short of keeping up with the city's high cost of living. To respond, the city has adopted the Housing First strategy, focusing on placing homeless individuals into stable housing before addressing mental health treatment, addiction recovery, or employment opportunities. Additionally, transitional housing units have been developed to give people time to heal and reintegrate into society in a sustainable way. D.C. has also launched a mobile healthcare program, bringing doctors and social workers directly to homeless encampments to ensure that no one is left behind when it comes to accessing essential services. Equally important are rent control policies and tenant protections aimed at preventing a surge in evictions amid rising inflation. Through a combination of public policy and support from nonprofit organizations, Washington, D.C. is gradually building a more equitable urban model, one where housing is treated as a fundamental human right, not a privilege for the few. Even in the darkest corners of urban centers, there is always potential for renewal and redemption. This travel documentary, captured through the lens of personal experience combined with in-depth investigation, stands as a powerful testament to the